Hey you guys, this is Mrs. MacPhail. Today we're going to review in and out tables, and this time we're going to do it with multiplication and division. So you should be able to do these by the end of your video. I like to call these number munchers because whenever you put a number into the table, the rule munches it and spits it out as something different. So it's like when you eat bad food and then you spit it out, which I hope you don't. Let's take a look at an example. You probably remember these from when we did in and out tables with addition and subtraction. But did you know that you can also do them with multiplication and division? Ah, very interesting, grasshopper. For example, let's look at the number muncher this way. Let's say that you put in the number 5. So it goes into the machine. So you put the number 5 into the machine. Let's say that the number muncher in the machine, the rule is times 3. All right, that's your rule. So whatever number you're going to put in, that number muncher is going to chomp it, chomp, 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 and change it by times 3. And it's going to spit it out as the number 15. Okay? I like to tell kids that when they do these problems to think of this middle line as kind of where the number muncher action happens, okay? You put in the number 5, you munch it around, the rule is times 3, and it spits it out as the number 15. If I were to do another one, let's say this time I put in the number, you're going to have to excuse all of my mess on here now. Let's say this time, I'm going to keep my rule 3, of course. This time I'm going to put in the number 10. So I put it in the number muncher machine, and it's going to chomp it around times 3. 10 times 3. Ah, and you remember from your multiplication shortcuts that 3 times 1 is 3, and 3 times 0 is 0. Or you can do the 3 times 10 that way too. Anyway, so 10 goes in, it gets munched around 3 times, and it gets spit out as the number 30. Okay? Now, don't let this trick you. Sometimes they are going to want you to go backwards, okay? And I'm just going to show you this with multiplication for right now. But let's say, for example, you know your rule. It's times 3. And let's say that they don't give you the in number. Oh, they're so tricky. They're trying to get you, but you know you're smarter than that. Let's say they give you the number 12 in the out. Now what do you do? Well, since you know it's times 3, you just got to work backwards. And you also know that division is the opposite of multiplication. So if they're giving you an out number and the rule is times, what do you think you have to do? Very good. You would have to divide, okay? So this time it's kind of like working backwards. Or you can think of it, what number that you're going to put in times 3 is going to get you 12, okay? Because we're looking for this number here. What number times 3 is going to equal to 12? You could also think of it as 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4. That would be your answer. We're just undoing the multiplication. So let's check our answer. If we were to put the number 4 into the number muncher machine, here goes 4. Gonna munch it around 3 times and spit it out. We know that 4 times 3 is equal to 12, so yes, indeed, it would be 4. Don't let that trick you. Okay, you can also have in and out tables with division, all right? So kind of the same concept. In your middle of the number muncher machine here, you're going to have your division rule. I'm going to use blue this time. So let's say we have a rule that says divided by 2. That's our rule. So if we look at our in and out table, let's say that we are told that we are going to put in the number 4, okay? So the number 4 is going to go into the number muncher machine, okay? It's going to get chomped around and divided by 2, and it's going to get spit out as the number 2. So remember, in our in and out table, if you get these problems, you can think of, okay, what number am I putting in? This line down the middle, this vertical line, can be thought of where the number muncher magic happens. In this case, it's divided by 2. And the out is that number that you're going to get out, okay? So divided by 2. And out, you're going to get the number 2. You can see that this is just the opposite of multiplication. If you were to do 2 times 2, you would get 4. 4 divided by 2, you get 2. So that's a handy way to check your work as well. Is 2 times 2 4? Is 4 divided by 2 2? Great way to check your work. Let's try one where they're going to be super tricky and not tell you what the in number is. Now you guys know how to do this. Let's try it one more time. Let's say that they give you the number 8. That's going to be the number that's spit out of the number muncher machine. Okay, so 8 is down here. So the number 8 came out. How are you going to find the in number knowing that the rule is division? You can pause the video if you need to think about it. If you said that you would have to multiply times 2 to get the in number, you would be correct. Remember, we're just doing the opposite of division here. You can also think of it as what number going in, chomped around divided by 2, and spit out equals to 8. And if you said 16, you would be correct. Let's look at it. If you put the number 16 in, chomp it around divided by 2, it gets spit out as the number 8. Also, 8 times 2 is equal to 16, and 16 divided by 2 is equal to 8. So there's going to be tricky celebration of knowledge questions out there that are going to be like this. And I know that you know what you're doing. So don't forget to use this table to check your work. Look at the rule. Sometimes you might have to also find the rule if they were to ask you, what is, I erase this really quick for you. Let's say the in number is 25 and the out number is 5. Well, this would be really tricky if they didn't give you a rule. But if you're working with multiplication and division, you'd know that it would be divided by 5, and that would have to be your rule. But anyway, that's a super tricky question. Good luck, do your best, and check your work. We'll see you later.